Hello, and welcome to Above Deck, a Below Deck breakdown podcast. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer and former marine biologist living in Charleston, South Carolina. With me is my college roommate and co-host, Kelly.
I'm Kelly Busby, former radio host and no longer a volleyball mom, coming to you from my, it's all over, coming to you from my home studio in Columbus, Ohio. Together, Sarah and I hosted the Socks with Sandals radio show on WFAL in Bowling Green, Ohio, and we are back again this week to discuss Below Deck and our love of all things Bravo. Today, we'll be discussing Below Deck Sailing Yacht, Season 5, Episode 4, Mermaid, a Big Mistake. Bravo. Bravo. Well done.
That's pretty good. Here's your recap. Glenn calls Cloyce back to the boat and lunch is late. The primary has a magical 60th birthday that includes a mermaid, but the cake is a bit of a disaster. The DJ enjoys some hot tub time with the guests. Deanna and Danny argue over a cocktail training exercise, and Emma has conflict with the stews on the night off. Kelly, how many shackles did you give this episode?
I gave this one 8.
Okay.
I thought it was good.
Was it the mermaid
stuff? The mermaid was the best part, but actually, there's another part that I thought was pretty good. But yeah, I just thought it was a good episode. There was a lot of different things happening, so
a lot of moving parts. So when the episode begins, Glenn is telling Gary, bring Cloyce back. Like, he better get his butt back here. He's got to prep lunch. And Cloyce is struggling to get back in the tender, and Gary lets him struggle for too long. Like, what a jerk. And
but
there's a little bit of punishment, I guess.
A little like initiation.
Okay, all right, a little bit hazing. So
just a little.
I have had to climb into those inflatable Zodiacs many times, and it's really hard because you're way down below there and you got to like get up over.
Yeah.
And so unless you have tremendous upper body strength, it is really hard. You need to have somebody pull you in while you like kick down below like really hard.
Okay, all those on this podcast who have upper body strength, raise their hand. Exactly. Okay.
I wish I did. Oh, I'm having flashbacks to gym class from like the flexed arm hang. Oh God.
Pull up.
Yes. So Cloyce is back on the boat and he tells Glenn, he only needs 20 minutes to get this lunch together. And Glenn is looking quite smug sitting there. And he knows Cloyce is screwed. This is
absolutely
a huge cloister, if you will.
A cloister. Okay. I seem to remember in the last episode, he told Daisy he was going to have everything prepped and ready to serve when he got back. He said the fish and the chicken were going to be cooked already. Did I dream that? It is possible.
No, I think that is the case. He said he was going to do everything ahead of time so he could just warm it up and be ready to go. It's true. Yeah. Okay, so Gary tows the guests back on the Flotopia. That was fun.
I have a preface sheet addition.
Okay.
Riding back to the fancy boat by being pulled by the little boat while sitting in a Flotopia.
And everyone will know what that means, so.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
Please refer back to episode 5. Season 5, episode 4.
Episode 4, season 5. So the guests are sitting down for lunch and Cloyce is stirring like a madman.
Yeah.
And the guests are getting hungry and he cuts up the chicken, and while he's cutting it up, he says, I probably should have cooked those for like a minute longer. You cannot feed people undercooked chicken, my friend.
No. And 1 minute makes a difference.
Yeah.
Chicken. But you can't do that, my friend. But what are you thinking? Like rushing it anyway.
What's a little salmonella?
What's a little fun? Did you catch one of the guests saying, I have snacks upstairs in my cabin?
Yes, they were really thinking about going and getting them too.
Yeah.
So there's a time on the screen and it says 5:15. Wasn't lunch supposed to be at 4? I think they sat down at like 3:55.
Yeah.
That's
really
bad.
And weren't they supposed to have dinner at like 8:30 that night?
Yeah, that's why Glenn is rushing them.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, he's really screwing things up just to go swimming. Yeah. So finally the food comes out and they said the food is wonderful, but who knows if that was true because they were so hungry.
Yeah. I'm surprised there wasn't any side chatter at the table in the episode. I mean, there had to be some, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So Emma is really in her head today about this miscommunication she had with Gary about the floats not being ready. And she thinks everyone seems to be so good at their jobs, but she is terrible.
So I will say, from what we've seen so far, Gary was showing her the ropes, literally and figuratively. Literally and figuratively. There we go. And he was calm and, dare I say, kind of mature about how he went about talking to her about things. But I mean, he could have told her she did a great job, but I feel like she would have thought it was the worst. And I think she just would have taken it the wrong way.
Yeah, I agree. She's just really getting in her head in general. Yeah. And kind of woe is me type of day. And so Glenn points out that island that's the Mermaid Island, and the guests are very excited about it.
I'm excited because there could be mermaids, Sarah.
Could be. They're going to like lure in the sailors. Cloyce and Daisy are talking about dinner, and he has ordered a nut honey cake. And by the way, this sounds kind of terrible. Daisy suggests, he should use this time to do something a bit elevated for the birthday. And he suggests, he'll accompany the cake with some whipped cream and berries. And Daisy says, okay.
And the reason he's doing this is because he hates baking. I'm sorry. What is that?
Yeah. You're a yacht chef. You need
to be able to do it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I mean, where's Chef Dave when you need him? He did great cakes.
Or Marcos, both of them.
Yes. Gary picks up Carla, the mermaid, at the dock, and the girls are putting on glittery stickers like all over their eyes. This is fun. This could be a good alternative for me who doesn't like to wear makeup, I think.
Should we do this while we're in Fort Lauderdale? Or is that trying too hard to be like young?
I don't know. Maybe. Let's get there.
We'll read the room.
We'll read the room. Yeah. See what we see. So Davide gets the pleasure of carrying Carla to the water, like her and her tail.
It was so sweet. It reminded me of Splash. Do you remember that movie?
Oh, I love Splash. Tom Hanks. So good.
Anyway, so it is green screen. Davide said he basically is the boat bee. Because he does everything. He can do everything. Where I think that makes him the most valuable person on the boat because he can do it all.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the boat can't run without him.
That's right.
So the guests have drinks on the swim platform while they watch Carla splash and swim. And I was thinking, this would be a great job for me.
Just sit on the platform and drink, or to be the mermaid?
Oh, both. But I was thinking to be the mermaid, just like splashing around. Look at my tail. I like when she kept flipping her tail and like flipping water over her head. It's cute. So Danny does not want to do cabins tonight. And Daisy asks, well, who did them last night? Well, it was Danny. And so Daisy asked Deanna to do them tonight. And Deanna is not happy about it. And Daisy reminds them, it's all going to even out like at the end of the season. We're all going to do both.
It's already starting, Sarah.
I know.
And it's not even just bickering, but they're like downright fighting in front of their boss.
Yeah.
I feel like Daisy needs to shut it down right now.
Yeah. I kind of think it might have set a bad precedent that Daisy was like, oh, okay, well then you do it instead. Like, Deanna shouldn't even ask,
Yeah.
Like, and I thought it was a good point. Like Gary said, well, on the next charter, like you will be on service. Like, just don't worry about it. Like I would never think to ask, like, I don't want to clean cabins all of a sudden. Neither one of these girls like to clean cabins, but they are second and third stew. I mean, they're second stews.
Yes, that's very, I have questions.
Yeah. So Glenn joins the guests for dinner and they give him some mermaid sparkles.
From the primary's chest. I mean, she is the birthday girl, so she can do as she wishes, correct?
Yes. Correct. So the first course is this falafel stuffed squid and saffron fried tentacle. Gross. Would you try this?
Nope.
No way. So
hard
gross.
pass. Did they like it? I don't even think they showed them eating it.
I don't know. I'm sure they did. I mean, it looked nice, but I was like, I've never heard of either of these things. Like, who would think to shove falafel up the mantle of a squid? And then, oh, instead of just throwing the tentacles away, I'm going to fry them with some saffron. Gross. Okay. So Gary drops the mermaid off and picks up the DJ. And, I was thinking Gary has been very professional so far this season, like no overt flirting with the mermaids or dancers we've had on board. And then I remembered, I'm sure he did, but it was all edited out, right?
Oh, do you think?
Probably.
Oh, yeah. I was kind of hoping for the professional change, but I think you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah. Can we talk about this DJ?
Hello, la la la. Yes, we can talk about DJ Elliott.
Very good looking. I think we're gonna have to get a screenshot and share that. And we need to find him on the socials, I think, as well.
Anyway. Write that down. Find the DJ.
Yeah, find the DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on. Okay.
DJ Elliott.
So Cloyce says, as an older woman, he thinks Amy would want her birthday to consist of just drinking and not blowing out candles. Does he think, first of all, 60 is not that old. Second of all, does he think that 60-year-olds cannot purse their lips and blow? Like, they're just sitting in a chair. That's gonna get cut into a something.
Why? Okay. I don't think we need to cut that. I'm just careful.
So does he think she's just sitting around with one of those little like breathing machines in a hospital, like the little spirometer machines? I just thought this was such a funny.
He said that, and I was like, that is the second like ageist thing he said during this episode. The first one was talking about how, well, in all his years of yachting, he's probably never dealt with a chef that was okay with going off the boat. I'm like, dude, be careful. So, Sarah, here's something to blow your mind. Ready?
Yeah.
The difference between Cloyce's age and Amy's age is pretty much our age.
Oh.
And there is your girl math problem for the day.
Good job, Kelly. So good at math. So Cloyce warms up the cake and it becomes this huge mess. And total mess. And so he covers it all in whipped cream.
Why? Why would he do any of that? I mean, he had nothing else to do. It was, that was it.
Heating it up was a huge mistake. I mean, it didn't look honestly that great before he heated it. It looked like breaded fish or something to me.
It did.
Good. Yeah. If somebody got me a nut and honey cake for my birthday, I would not be happy.
Unless it was baklava. Then we're talking.
Okay, that's kind of different. But yeah. And I wouldn't classify that as cake. No, so the guests go up top for the DJ and some champagne. And after drinking out of that giant bottle, Amy decides to go to bed. She says nothing good happens after midnight, but the younger girls stay up. And they invite Mr. DJ into the hot tub, and no one ends up eating that cake. After a while, though, DJ Elliott, he decides to kind of like pack it up.
He abruptly packed it up. And I think one of the girls was a little aggressive in their moves they put on him.
Yeah. Didn't they say she had her feet on him or something in the hot tub?
Like around. Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes. So he's like, yeah, can somebody give me a ride back?
Excuse me. Check.
Keith sets out work cleaning up all the glitter and mess from the party.
Glitter. We know what I think about glitter. Mm-hmm. But I want to tell Keith, good luck. And BT Dubs, he's kind of grown on me a bit.
I need some more information about Keith. We need more storyline with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think
the next day.
You're right.
Daisy discovers that Deanna doesn't have much experience making drinks, and she doesn't even know what goes into a margarita. So Daisy suggests that after the charter, the crew could each request a drink from the stews, and then they make them to kind of get some practice before they go out.
Okay. So I think this is a great idea because this is a job that practice can only help you get better. So when I started bartending, I used to practice on my family and friends. And it was great because you could kind of learn. It helps you memorize the recipes. It helps you get faster at making everything. and then you almost become like a mad scientist. That's how I feel like when you're bartending. But yeah, I mean, bartending was so fun to me. I loved it. And I just think you could only get better.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea.
By the way, it's tequila, citrus, orange liqueur.
Gotcha. Unless you're Barbie. Or no, wait, who was it that added orange juice? Was it Barbie?
It was Barbie, yeah.
So the boat docks, and Gary asks Emma to tighten up the stern line, and she's not doing what he wants her to do. So he kind of gets in there and he shows her how to do it properly. And he's frustrated with her not knowing how to do this very basic thing.
Sarah, I have to say, I have a feeling, and it's not a good one.
Yeah, I don't know if she's going to make it. The guests depart, and Daisy wants to talk to Glenn down in the crew, or in the guest cabin. And she has concerns about Cloyce. And if he doesn't improve by the next charter, Glenn is going to intervene, say something.
I like how she did this. It was like out of the way and kind of in private, but she set those clear expectations with Glenn, because you can't let it drag out, because we've all seen it when it does drag out. So it's weird though, because Glenn thinks Cloyce is going to do well, and Daisy is thinking the exact opposite. So this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it is. Okay, the tip meeting. Glenn goes ahead and calls out Cloyce for playing in the water and not making good use of his time.
Well done, Cap. Well done.
They have a very nice tip, $25K, champagne all around. And then Daisy tells the crew to have their drink orders ready for Deanna and Danny. So
great.
Deanna decides she's only going to make Gary a Bloody Mary, and then that's it. She doesn't like this idea. She doesn't want to be working right now. And so she goes up top and looks at her phone, and Danny is all of a sudden on her own, and Daisy tells Deanna to come back down, and she is very grumpy about it.
Yeah, Danny called her a moody bee. I was like, oh, that's going to end up going well. Okay, so Diana kept saying she was on a break. She didn't want to work. So she said, I made that drink and that was enough. No one else is working, so why should I? What does she think she's there to do? She doesn't want to do the cabins, and she doesn't want to learn to make drinks. So I don't know. I'm confused.
I mean, she knows that she even said herself that she is not good at drinks and she doesn't know the recipe. So why wasn't she like making the connection there that why this was important? And you can't do it. There's no time for this on charter. So like this was a perfect opportunity to do this.
Absolutely.
This is, I think, just a very normal thing to do. We've seen other chiefs teach the stews something kind of during the downtime, like here's how to properly set a table. Here's how you do this. I think it was just because it was like time to go out.
Yeah, it's really the only way to learn this kind of job.
Yeah.
You can go to all the classes you want, but you got to be in it.
So the crew goes to dinner, but back on the boat, Glenn is doing Sudoku. Yeah, baby. To the club. Emma keeps asking Deanna if she likes Gary, and she is adamant, like, no. And I don't know where this is really coming from. Yeah. And Emma is really annoying people in the van. And Danny says she's bringing the vibe down, man.
There's something brewing there with Emma. I can't figure out what it is, but this all came out of nowhere, it feels like. Like this whole day seems out of it.
Yeah. And I mean, people have off days. I get it. But yeah, this is just seems to be coming out of nowhere, like you said. So the girls tell Daisy that Emma was kind of acting aggressive in the van, which I don't love that word. But Daisy asks Emma, what did you say to them? What did you say? And great. Like now there's a conflict between Emma and Danny and Deanna.
Sweet.
So this is where the episode ends, but we do get a preview for next time. We have a Real Housewife. I did not know who this was. She is Dr. Tiffany Moon from the Real Housewives of Dallas, which is no longer, but.
Right. She wasn't on many seasons. I think it was maybe one, but she's an anesthesiologist. So,
Cool.
I thought she was really great. So this will be neat.
Also on this next episode, Danny is going to kiss Gary.
Oh,
here we go. It's time for Hot Tub Convo, where we discuss what's happening with our favorite Below Deck cast members.
we did a happy hour with Kyle Stilley and Chef Nick from Below Deck Season 11 over the weekend. So let's talk about some of the highlights.
This was really
Sarah,
fun.
do you want to read some of yours?
Sure. So one thing I thought was interesting is it sounds like Nick was kind of waiting in the wings all season to see, if Anthony got fired. They always kind of, I can't think back what exactly happened that season, like what we saw, but usually it seems like it's a little more of a struggle to find a chef, but it kind of sounds like he was on standby. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then I asked Nick if he had seen Kyle naked yet on this trip to Palma, and he said several times that day.
So background on that. Kyle is a free spirit. He likes to go commando.
Yeah.
And not have clothes on when he doesn't have to. So when in Rome or Palma.
Yeah.
We asked Nick about the whole garnish thing, garnish gate. He said he prefers fresh herbs because they're more of a palate cleanser, and you don't want to like mess up what pretty food you have out there. My favorite part was talking to Nick thanked us for our kind words about him when he joined the show. I blushed. It turned very squirrely. Did you? You did.
Oh, 100%. We don't ever think about them watching, listening. So yeah, I was thinking back because we went on and on, I'm pretty sure, about how hot he was.
Well, because it was so exciting too, because it was somebody our age. And we were like, yes, this is amazing. Yes. We also talked about Kyle said he's going back to Montana soon to see his family, I think in the next couple weeks. So but to be fair, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty distracted by all the cuteness with them. So cute.
Adorable. Gosh, especially Nick. He looked so good, you guys. Ooh,
go back to our reels and check it out because
definitely. Yeah, it's on our Instagram. I don't know if I don't think we can really put it anywhere else. I guess we maybe could stick it on the pod. I don't know. I don't think it would probably translate that well to just audio.
No.
So, anyway, well, randomly, Bree and Joe Bradley are working on the same boat in Miami. I think Joe was already on the boat, and then Bree showed up to work, and there he was.
Convenient.
So, yes, very. So they've been posting about hanging out, sharing some fun content on the old Instagram. So that's fun. I bet they're hooking up.
Well, I bet here's how I see that happening. Joe's working on a boat. Hey, we need a stew. Do you know anybody? Hey, there's somebody nearby that I think would work. And Bree shows up.
Yeah.
Hey, interesting. Do we know if it's a Below Deck show that they're stewing on and working on?
No, I'm sure.
Just regular work.
Yeah.
Real work.
Real work. Yeah.
So it looks like everyone's having a great time at the Hey You Fan Fest in London this past week. During an interview with Captain Sandy, she was asked to respond to Captain Lee's nightcap tour, where he said she was his least favorite cast member. So, which is still I can't believe he said that. Her response, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I did. And she said she wished him well.
Keeping it classy, Captain Sandy.
Always.
I haven't been able to find a clip of this. I just saw a Daily Mail article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Side note, I saw a clip that the current season of Real Housewives of New York, this is from the Hey You thing, they had to cut taping early. They had to end their season sooner than expected. And it ended with somebody having to be flown home and another person having to be separated from the group and put in a hotel.
Wow, that's crazy.
I can't wait for that shit.
Sorry. Yeah. Are you watching this season?
I haven't. I just saw that clip and I was like,
yeah. I'm still undecided about the new New York. I'm watching. Of course I'm watching, but I don't know.
It's hard because it's the new New York. It's not old money. It's not old money New York. It's new money New York.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but of course I'm going to keep watching.
It's time for our segment, Join Me in the Wheelhouse, where we decide who needs to see Captain Glenn for a stern talking to. Miss Sarah, who do you choose this week?
This week I'm going to call Deanna for having a bad attitude about the whole cocktail situation. Like
the whole having to work thing.
Didn't get it or what? I mean, and she has kind of doubled down on Instagram actually about it. And
really?
Yeah, about like not having to work after hours and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, it was kind of a way to make it fun and learn something anyway.
Yeah, and get fair and honest feedback.
Yeah, I think we probably called Cloyce last week, probably, right?
Yeah, because Dana was with us.
Yeah. So he's already up there. So
join your bed.
That's it for this week's episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat Media, especially our awesome producer, Grace. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to tell a friend, and please rate and review us 5 stars only.
Please follow us on Instagram at abovedeckpod, and you can email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. You can watch our episodes on the Hurrdat Media YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Kelli Busby.
And I'm Sarah Goldman. We'll see you next week. And Grace, this is your last episode. We're going to miss you so much.
We
love you, Grace. She's not leaving Hurrdat, but she is not going to be our producer anymore. We'll introduce you guys to our new producer in the future.
I have a question for Grace because she was on that Taylor Swift cruise. Grace, do you think it's a coincidence?
Cruise?
I think it was a Taylor Swift cruise. Yeah. Oh. I have a question, and I want to know what you think. So do you think it's a coincidence, because nothing Taylor does is a coincidence, that she finished, her last 2 shows are Toronto and Vancouver, T and V, for Taylor's version Reputation?
Oh, wow. Okay.
The whole thing, the whole year, people are like, she's going to release Reputation. She's going to release. So I'm just going to say, when she releases Reputation, it better be batshit amazing.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, I was just curious. I love seeing all the
your thoughts,
conspiracy theories about it. So, anyhow.